Hey BookTube, this is Friday Reads.
I got my ticket for the long way round.
I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and this weekend I am listening to book 4 in the Pillars of Reality series, which is called The Pirates of Pacta Servanda. And it just came out on the 12th, so I pre-ordered it, and this series was written specifically for Audible.com, and it is narrated by MacLeod, who I love. Yeah, I know, I go on about the narrators that I love, but he's one of them. And he's wonderful for this series, and I love these characters. This is a series written by Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell is a pseudonym for an author whose name I cannot recall. I will put it here. And he writes military science fiction. So this is YA kind of fantasy. It's kind of a departure for him. But it is a 6-book series and 4 of them are out, and it is delightful. And I've talked about it before, but briefly I will tell you that it is a world in which a big storm is coming. And by that I mean a big revolt. People are going to lay waste to all the cities because they've had it. And the reason is that the world is governed by 2 guilds. One is the Mage Guild, one is the Mechanics Guild, and they hold an iron fist over all of the people. If you're not in one of those guilds, you are pretty much subject to anything that they tell you to do. The Mechanics Guild is the mechanics. They're all based in science, and it's a whole lot of steampunk. And then the Mage Guild is a whole lot of magic. They believe that people are shadows, nothing is real, they can manipulate anything because they can make it seem not real, because it isn't real. So we have Elaine, who is a mage, and Mari, who is a mechanic, and so they are working together to kind of help the people rise up and overthrow the guilds, essentially. But in the meantime, they're finding out a whole lot of cool stuff about the history of their world and prophecies about what's coming and all that kind of thing. So it's just such a great series. I love all the characters. We have new characters coming in now, more mages, more mechanics, and just the contrast between the 2 types of characters, the mechanics and the mages, is so good. The mages are like monks, sort of. They have no emotion, like none. It's so good. I am so entertained by this book. So it's a 6-book series. So the 2 final books 5 and 6 will be out later this year. One is going to be out, I think, in the summer or late spring, and then the final book will be out at the end of the year. So yeah, great series. You should definitely give it a try. And you'll have to listen to it on audio because it's written for audio. Although the first 3 books, and probably this one too, are out in paperback now. Took them a while to do that, but I am also reading Valley of Fires. This is book 3 in the Conquered Earth series by J. Barton Mitchell, and I listened to the first 2 books in this series earlier this week because I wanted to finally get to this book, which is not available on audio, and I have complained at, liberty about that, but anyway, I'm about that far into it, and it's so funny because the other night I was walking out of one room into a hallway, and I'm reading along, and I realize it's dark, and I can't see the text, and I thought, and then I realized, well, duh, you've been reading on your iPad so much that you can't see the text when you walk out into the dark. So I immediately went to my library and downloaded this on my iPad. So I have this on my iPad, and that's how I'm reading it. And I'll do a review on the full series and tell you how much I love it. In this series, you have a post-apocalyptic world where you have aliens and artifacts and people from, various kind of clans, and you have zombie-like people who succumb to something that the aliens have done, and yeah, all that kind of thing. One of the funniest things about this book to me recently was that a lot of the cities are structures that are very flimsy, and so they hold them up with artifacts, and artifacts are common everyday objects that were changed when an alien ship came down and crashed, and it created a singularity, and a lot of weird stuff happened, and everyday objects were changed to essentially have magical properties. And so A lot of these structures that are very flimsy in the cities are held up with Aleve. Aleve, like, what you take for a headache. I think that is hilarious. I think, J. Barton Mitchell, that was so creative of you. The whole book is full of that kind of stuff, so I just had to laugh. Hopefully I'll finish that this weekend on my iPad. And the last book that I have is Soul Keeping. This is by John Ortberg. He is my husband's favorite author. And this came to my attention because I saw another booktuber who was showing it in a book haul. And I knew Mark had it because he loves John Ortberg. And so I mentioned it in passing. I was talking about booktubers. And about a week later, he said, hey, would you want to read that? And I said, maybe. John Ortberg is a modern theologian, and so he'll say stuff and you need to think about it, So it's not the kind of book that you fly through like a fictional work would be. It's obviously nonfiction. And so I think it's kind of time for that. I don't know. I'm feeling like it's time to read something like this. Like my attention can be focused on something like this. So yeah. There are several other things that I read this past week, and I really want to tell you about them, but I think that they warrant their own reviews. So I will probably be doing those in the coming weeks. That is my weekend. What are you reading this weekend? Anything good? I have to tell you, it is the most dreary of days here where I live. This kind of day is why I hate living here. It's kind of rainy and it's just cold enough outside to not be icy. It's that if you were out in it, you would be freezing cold all day and wet and ugh. I don't know. It's kind of how I imagine the north part of the UK to be, but anyway, it's a good day for reading. So I will probably get some kind of a hot drink and sit down in my favorite chair and read because I can. So anyway, let me know what you're reading this weekend. I always love to hear. And that's it for now from me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.